Winter has begun to give way to spring, which only means one thing. It's baseball time in Hickman County right here on WNKX. We are one national anthem away from our first ever baseball broadcast.
Play ball.
Let's play ball indeed, and how excited are we to bring you baseball for the very first time on WNKX. For anybody that knows me, you know that baseball is my absolute favorite sport, and there's no better place to be than a ballpark on a warm, still winter evening, but spring is ever so close, and that means baseball season is getting ramped up everywhere. At the college level, the professional level as well, as they begin spring training, and we prepare for the World Baseball Classic as all the international teams do battle leading up to the MLB season, and there is so much to be excited about. And tonight it's your Hickman County Bulldogs facing off with the Houston County Fighting Irish. And it should be a good one. I'm Josh Copley alongside Case Martin, bringing you coverage of this first ever Bulldog baseball game. So we are nearing first pitch in this one from Mike Smithson Field inside Douglas Bates Stadium. These Hickman County Bulldogs have already played 2 games already this week. Opening day was on Monday, where they had to host Creekwood, and Creekwood's always a stout team. They lost that one 22-4, I believe, was what Craig Shelton told me. And then they had to go on the road on Tuesday. And the first pitch is underway. It's Carter Bates taking the mound for your Hickman County Bulldogs. Behind the dish is Braden McCaleb. First one misses for a ball. Number 2 in there, called strike 1. At the plate for Houston County is number 8, Forrester. We were only given the last names, so we're just making do with what we've got. Bates, the 1-1 in there, swing and a miss for strike 2. In Case, what an atmosphere it is at the ballpark. Really makes you nostalgic for our time as baseball players.
Yeah, Josh, especially like we talked about, this is the best time of the year for me and you as huge baseball fans. Once baseball starts ramping up, we're definitely in our happy place.
And you can just smell that Hickman County concession stand food from here. It has been the best in the business for a long time, although I might be a little bit biased. It's a 1-2 count. That last foul ball by Forrester, just foul down the third base line. Bates looking to put him away. He deals on the way. Misses upstairs. Ball 2. And as we said, this is our first baseball broadcast, so for now, what you see is what you get as far as the camera and scoreboard goes, but if this is something you all enjoy, we're looking to keep bringing you all the action on WNKX, and that 2-2 pitch misses down and away from Bates. It's run full. 3-2 on the way. Called ball 4, just missed up and in case. That's a tough one to take.
Yeah, it looked like it was really close in the inside corner, but yeah, good take. Good take there, earned a walk to start the game.
Of course, walks in any capacity aren't great, but you never want to start a game on the wrong foot, so Bates got to work his way back. Looks over to first, back in there safely. These Bulldogs with a very stout infield. Pitch on the way. This one in there for a called strike. Digging in number 6, Burgess for the Fighting Irish, looking to capitalize off the leadoff walk, trying to at least get him in a scoring position. The 0-1 pitch. Nice breaking ball by Bates, drops right in there for strike 2. I'm looking over here to the right. Case is our statistician for the night. He's hard at work. Ground ball right back at Bates. To second. Not a chance at the double play, but a nice job by Bates to get the lead runner. Helping himself to get the game's first out. Covering the bag there was second baseman Andy Kraft. Quite the athlete that young man is. Only a junior. You might remember him as QB1 for the football team, but a heck of a baseball player as well. Joining him at the middle infield at shortstop is John Michael Lewis, one of the senior captains on this team. Bates deals, misses upstairs. Number 2, McMillan now steps in for Houston County. To round off this infield for the Bulldogs that we already talked about, it was Lewis at short, Kraft at second. But how about this case at third base? Freshman Braden Chesser making waves in the offseason leading up to his first year as a high school baseball player. Not many guys can say they started varsity their first year.
Yeah, Josh and Braden was a kid who was around us a lot whenever we were playing for his dad, obviously. So, and we always knew as much time as he spent on the diamond that he'd be a great baseball player.
A stellar player indeed, and at first base is Jackson Warren. Behind the plate, Braden McCaleb. Your infield for the Dogs. Burgess squares. Looked like he went around. Yes, he did. That'll be a swing, called strike number 2, 2-2 count. 1 out in the top half of the first. So, Case, after that leadoff walk, Bates is looking pretty sound out there on the bump.
Yeah, I mean, he got an out himself on the comebacker that he went to second with. Couldn't get 2, but starting to look really comfortable here early in the first.
Bates, of course, one of the solid starting arms these Bulldogs have. Certainly, pitcher number 1 is John Michael Lewis, the man currently standing at shortstop. And that ball's lined into right field, hanging up there, diving, catching right. And he's got to play it first. Oh, it gets away from Warren, rolls to the backstop, and that will allow Houston County to prolong the inning. But what a play out in right field by Wyatt Bates.
Josh Wyatt with a fantastic catch. The only thing he did wrong was he just went a little too quick on the throw back to first. The runner on first had already rounded second, so he could have taken his time. But I can understand the excitement there, and the throw just got away from him.
Yeah, Case, whenever that adrenaline starts pumping, it causes you to do some irrational things, but that cannot take away the play by Bates out and right, helping out his fellow Bates on the mound. And you know a pitcher's got to love that.
Oh yeah, I mean if that gets by him, that scores a run. So he's definitely helping out his pitcher there.
So that runner at first hasn't gone anywhere, but he's taken off, swung on and missed. Throw down from McCaleb is a beauty. Not in time, he's safe. The fans don't agree with that one, but what a strike from Braden McCaleb behind the dish.
Yeah, that was a really close play, which you love to see. That was a really strong throw, right on the money. Runner might have just got in there, and it looks like they're getting someone to run for him out there after he stole the base.
Maybe a little shaken up. That was Forrester there on the stolen bag. Now stepping in is Donahue, number 5 for the Fighting Irish. Bates with 2 down in the inning. 0-1 count, runner on second. Deals, misses, kicks away from McCaleb, rolling towards the Bulldog dugout. He corrals it, but that'll allow the runner to easily advance up to third. And now, Donahue a chance to get his guys on the board early. Now, right there, Case, it looked like McCaleb sort of came up on the ball instead of just going down to a knee, going down to his knees, blocking, bodying that ball up. But we know sometimes bad hops can happen, but right there you can prevent a lot just by taking a seat. The 1-1 on the way from Bates. Swung on and missed. Strike 2.
It's a big pitch by Bates to get ahead here, and this is bear down time for a pitcher with a runner on third. Let's see him make the put-away pitch here.
A chance to escape. 1-2. 2 out. Top of the first. Runner on third. Misses high. Now, a lot of times, Case, you see pitchers miss out of the zone when they're ahead in the count, trying to draw that swing and miss, not wanting to leave anything too nice over the plate, but you want to make them at least think about it.
Oh, yeah, but you could also say maybe changing the eye level here, maybe to drop a breaker down low.
That ball pops up back towards us in the press box, and that's going to sail down into the woods, and it's our favorite time of the ball game, Case. The foul ball committee going to be on that one. I remember being a wee lad, a freshman, being sent to get those foul balls. It's dangerous down there. It's all types of creatures in the ravine. The 2-2 pitch. Popped up. And he should get out of it. Spiegelmeyer in. Ooh, almost misjudged it, but camps out underneath it and puts it away for the third out in the top half of the first. And what a job by Carter Bates. While we're in between frames, we welcome you to WNKX for this first presentation of Hickman County Baseball, and we are so very thrilled to bring this to you. We appreciate you tuning in and joining us and supporting these baseball Bulldogs. Such a fantastic environment with some of the best concession stand food you'll find in the region, or maybe even in the state. It's our favorite time of the game, though, Case. Every time we got a break in the action, we can just talk about a little bit of whatever we like.
Exactly, Josh. The beauty of baseball.
Well, you know, I was talking to Will, my boss, about getting this game underway, and something that was in the back of my mind was, I don't know how in the world I'm going to call a baseball game by myself. It's a lot of talking, it's a lot of airtime you got to fill. But Case, we've had a lot of time together, growing up together as friends, and you know, we pseudo-commentate our games on MLB The Show, so we've got a little bit of practice.
Yeah, thank goodness you were able to make the call to the bullpen, and I was still back there to.
Well, you're a working man now, Case. I know this wasn't easy for you.
Yeah.
So bottom half of the first, taking the bump, is the leadoff man, number 8, Forrester. So that does make a lot of sense as to why they chose a courtesy runner. You don't want your pitcher overexerting himself because it took all he had just to leg out that stolen bag.
Yeah, exactly. At the time, we hadn't realized that he was pitching, but yeah, that explains it.
We are working with very limited stats. So as Hickman County prepares for their first at-bat of the evening, we can take you back to last year when these two teams met. It was a low-scoring affair, with Houston County winning 2-1. Each team recorded 4 hits apiece, but the name of the game was Hickman County committing the 3 errors in the last matchup. And I got a chance to talk to assistant coach Craig Shelton, and he said that was a lot of their problems on Monday against Creekwood. Now, Creekwood, a very good team, and you have to play almost near perfect to beat those guys. They have a great system. Of course, they're the combination of William James and Charlotte at the middle school level, a heap of talent at Creekwood. So that definitely played a part in why they came up short on Monday, but they started tightening the ship just a little bit on Tuesday, narrowing it down to a 7-1 loss. But still, Case, the bats just have not been going for these Bulldogs, and it all starts at the top of the order, leading off Andy Kraft. Definitely a contact speed threat. The southpaw deals. Forrester. Kraft shows bunt, pulls back, called, strike 1. The Hickman County lineup, not a ton of lefties. So they will have the matchup advantage for the most part for all you stat nerds out there. It's hard enough hitting a lefty when you have the advantage, all the natural break they have on their pitches. Pitch into Kraft, just off the outside corner. Tough take. Count is 1-2. Kraft behind early, looking to battle back. Forrester kicks and deals. Kraft fights it off down the right field line. So Kraft well behind in this at-bat, needing to probably quicken up that bat speed a little bit. Case is getting loaded earlier can do wonders for your timing. Forrester trying to put away Kraft. On the way, misses downstairs. And both teams, Forrester and Kraft, showing why they're at the top of their order, able to make the starting pitcher work. The 2-2. Kraft pops it up. Right side of the infield into shallow right. Second baseman calling off his right fielder, corrals it for out number 1.
Now up, number 4, John Michael Lewis.
Now stepping in, the Columbia State commit. Number 4, John Michael Lewis. Not only a threat on the bump, throwing high 80s, pushing low 90s. Heck of a fielder and a great power bat as well, Case. He really does it all, especially at the high school level. Forrester deals. Misses low, kicks up to the backstop, up on the net. McCaleb doing the umpire service. Got a pretty nice crowd here at Douglas T. Bates III Stadium. The 1-0 from Forrester. Called strike 1. And that one had some wicked movement, catching the outside part of the plate. Case, I saw your eyes sort of light up when that pitch came in.
Yeah, and if I'm Forster, that's probably the same way that I try to get one on Lewis.
The 1-2 misses up. I don't think we can overstate how tempting those high pitches look. When it's eye level, you think you got to play on it. Then when you swing, I mean, never going to work out in your favor. 2-2. Missing outside. In Case, I want to give credit to this Houston County catcher. He is doing a really great job of sticking that ball, making the umpire at least think about those pitches. They are just a couple of inches off the plate. And Lewis smacks that one to center field. That'll drop for a base hit. So John Michael Lewis getting the festivities started for the Dogs.
Number 12, Brady McCaleb.
In Case, if you're a coach, especially Coach Duchesne, you love seeing your top of the order guys get on for your big power bats like Braden McCaleb, like Spiegelmeyer. Here's the pitch to McCaleb. Swing, slow roller. Forster fields. His only play is to first. So McCaleb's out at 1, but he does do a job of getting Lewis up to second.
And I like how Forster didn't hesitate with thinking about second. He knew where he was going. He knew he was going to first, and he got the out.
Well, and Lewis had a great jump there off the crack of the bat. Really no chance at second base, so credit to Forster on the 1-3 put out. Now Spiegelmeyer, RBI chance, runner in scoring position. That one misses low. Lewis will scamper up to third easily. Off the Forrester wild pitch. Maybe a little deja vu Case. Houston County had runner at third, 2 outs, couldn't capitalize. Hickman County, a chance to steal some momentum early.
Yeah, just like that, Josh. Any base hit scores him here.
Forrester goes back to the windup on the 1-0 pitch. Again, misses low. And again, if you're Forrester, you know the danger of this Hickman County middle of the order. That one in there upstairs for a called strike at the letters. Forrester having to work back one pitch at a time. The 2-1. Spiegelmeyer swings. That's heading to right center. That's down, base hit. Shelton sends him to second. Duchesne puts the windmill on. He's heading to third. And he slides in at third with a triple. Spigs with an early 3-bagger scores Lewis.
Josh, I don't think he was expecting the ball to get away from the cut man there. He was actually being waved home before he slid headfirst into third there. What a oppo gap shot by your
Well,
center fielder there.
well, that ball had some carry to it too, Case. Maybe a slightly misjudged out in center by Houston County. But Hickman County a chance to keep things rolling with another base hit, and Bates swings and misses at a ball in the dirt. Aiden Spiegelmeyer, we talked about how many athletes are on this team, multi-sport guys, some guys that played football as well as baseball. Fouled away by Bates, 0-2. Spiegelmeyer, another one of those guys who can just, you put him in any sport case and he can thrive. He is just a heck of an athlete right there showing the wheels, and it wasn't even a question of whether or not he was heading to third base. 0-2. Bates looking to help himself on the mound. Forrester steps off. Pitchers love a chance to help themselves anytime they get. Carter Bates, chance to do that now. Ball misses inside. Has to dance out of danger a bit. Forrester might have pulled off on that fastball just a little bit on the inside half. One, two. Back corner, called strike three. A filthy breaking ball from Forrester, and he escapes with minimal damage. One run coming across for the Dogs. At the end of one, Hickman 1, Houston nothing. Well, how about that, Case? Our first ever baseball broadcast together, and we've already got some early fireworks.
We can't take credit for it though. I think it all goes to Aiden. Oh, what a hit! What a swing! Put it nearly off the wall in the right center gap. That was beautiful hitting.
Well, in Case, I think we can agree the signs of a really good hitter is whenever you're able to make solid contact to the opposite field. It shows that you trust your hands, you let it get deep, keep your hands inside, and your own talent and ability does the rest.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what he did there.
So Bates on the mound, able to work with a lead, and that's any pitcher's dream, Case. And now you got a little bit of insurance. You don't have to be perfect. I know that was just a routine throwdown, but my goodness, McCaleb's got a cannon.
And Josh, not only does it feel completely different with the lead, but also being able to escape the top of the first with the guy on third to get out of that, and then to get a 2-out run to take the lead. Bates has got to feel good about his team here having the lead.
So Bates deals. First pitch, misses high and tight. Stepping in is number 11, Farrell. Pitch number 2 is fouled off, evens the count at 1-1. 1-1 from Bates, called strike at the knees. Some great framework back there from McCaleb. The 1-2 from Bates. That ball's ripped up the middle for a base hit. Spiegelmeyer comes up with it, lofts it into his cutoff man, Lewis, and Houston County's got something rolling to start the top half of the second.
Now up, number 1, Heron.
We saw from that first foul ball that Farrell hit, Case. Whenever you see that ball go straight back, that usually means your timing's pretty good. Now Heron, batter number 6 for this Fighting Irish order. That ball's fouled off down the right field line, will sail into the trees. So again, the foul ball committee. So some poor freshman's going to be sent out there with who knows what awaits in the dark. Bates keeping an eye on his man at first, back in safely. Bates quickly coming set. Getting a little jumpy over at first is Farrell. Chesser cheating in, expecting the bunt, and Bates steps off. No, he's called for a balk. So the Fighting Irish got a man in scoring position here with no outs in the top of the second. No outs to play with. Heron got to be thinking one thing, and that is opposite field. Just get your guy over. Don't have to do too much. Showing bunt. Chesser staying put on the third base bag. Here's the pitch. He puts it down right back at Bates. Has an easy play at first. Lofts it over to the covering Kraft. That'll be one down, but the runner does easily advance up to third.
And Josh, on that balk, I didn't actually see it because I was watching Chester come in to cover the bunt. I just saw him step off, and he was pleading with the umpire too. But I think the umpire said that he moved his glove up. I'm not sure what happened.
Stepping in now is Ruse as he swings and misses up high. Bates able to tightrope walk out of danger in the first inning, looking to repeat that in the second. That one misses down and away, ball one. Bates comes set. Infield cheating in. Inside just off the black. Called ball two. Bates has really relied on that breaking ball so far tonight, Case.
Yeah, I like how he's using it on the inside too. You've seen the batters from Houston County kind of flinch at those, and he hasn't really been able to get that corner, but he's getting close to it.
That one just missed off the edge. Bates down in the count, 3-1. Deals. Misses low. That'll send Ruse down to first base.
Now up, number 15, Spurgeon.
But now, Case, maybe that walk not the worst thing in the world as it sets up a double play possibility. Just depends on how Houston County wants to play it. Do they send Ruse in motion?
Yeah, the only thing I'm fearful of in high school, you see a lot of times when they'll steal the runner on first and see if they can get a throw down and get a score from the runner on third after the throw.
But now it's the bottom of the Houston County lineup looking to provide some run support for Forrester. Spurgeon steps in from the right-handed side. Bates comes set. Squares the bunt, puts it down the third baseline to Chesser, and a great heads-up baseball IQ play from Chesser. Lets it roll foul. In Case, it's all about battling those instincts all the way through on that play. You want to pick it up and try to make a play, but Chesser just showing his wisdom beyond years as a freshman at the hot corner.
Yeah, Josh, as that ball was rolling to him and I saw him running that, I was like, leave it, leave it, leave it. And that's exactly what he did. He saw it, and he probably even had a better angle than us, obviously. So he probably knew it was foul the whole way.
Now Chesser cheats in the grass at third base, preparing for the bunt from Spurgeon. Bates deal, squares again, pulls back. Missing up and away. And at the high school level, Case, you just feel the tension on every pitch in these first and third scenarios, especially with less than 2 outs. Bates deal, squares the bunt again, tries to put it down, fouled off. So, Case, what do you do here? Do you keep the bunt on?
Yeah, it's hard because I think it's a good way to draw the third baseman in and then maybe put the steal on and not bunt it, because at that point there's no threat of back picking the guy in third.
Bates deals with 2 strikes. Ball in the right field, giving chase, diving just out of the reach of Bates, and that's going to roll to the wall. 1 man scores. Windmill on at third. 2 men are going to score. Warren, throw to the plate, not in time, well late. And that's going to be a 3-bagger for Spurgeon. So Spiegelmeyer with a triple. Spurgeon says, I'm going to answer you right back. So Houston County with some clutch 2-strike hitting. All of a sudden, the Fighting Irish lead in the top half of the second, 2-1. In Case, a tremendous effort out in right field by Wyatt Bates. He almost had it.
Yeah, especially after making the one in the first inning, we really wanted him to come down with that, but he was looked like he was just like a glove length short of catching it there.
Well, that's one of the risks you run of laying out for a ball case in the outfield, especially. If that ball gets by in that right field corner, you were all alone on an island. But Bates looking to bear down, squaring down again, bunt down. The squeeze is on, the run will score, and Bates takes the easy out at first. So great situational baseball by the Fighting Irish as Reams knots himself an RBI, 3-1.
Now
Houston
number
County
8,
widens their lead.
Forrester.
So now they're back to the top half of the order with 2 down, nobody on. It's Forrester. Forrester cracks one to right field. Coming in strong is Bates. That's going to drop inside the line. Forrester's on with 2 away.
Now up, number 6, Burgess.
So Burgess now looking for a little 2-out rally to tack on to their 2-run lead. In case pretty much everything has gone right for the Fighting Irish in this inning.
Yeah, I mean, you see that a lot in high school, and start playing a little small ball and a couple bunts, and then a bloop there, and a bloop just over the first baseman. I mean, a lot of things can fall right, and a lot of bad things can add up really quickly for one team, which is happening for Hitman County, which still hasn't gotten out of hand or anything, but certainly don't want to see so many things go wrong.
And this is where you really need to see the leadership of senior Carter Bates on the mound. How does he handle the adversity? Forrester takes off, not even a throw. Bates gets ahead 0-1, but yet again, the Fighting Irish have a man in scoring position. Lewis cheating in behind Forrester, trying to keep him honest. Bates deals. Popped up. Shallow left, coming in strong. And he missed it. And that's going to be another run for the Fighting Irish. And Burgess will coast into second base on the E7.
Now up, number 2, McMillan.
In case it's so easy for those fly balls. They hang up there for a long time. They start to sway a little bit in the wind. The lights come into play as well. Got a feel for Braden Stone out there in left field. But now it's all about how Carter Bates chooses to pick him up on the mound. Heard Coach Duchesne yelling out to left field saying, shake it off, get the next one. In cases, Yogi Berra once said, hind catcher for the New York Yankees, he said baseball is 90% mental and the other half physical. And those errors can really eat away at you if you let them, or you can go out and make a great play the next time you get a chance. Bates looking to bounce back. First pitch swung on and missed by McMillan. The 0-1. Popped up. Kraft calls it, and he's got it. That'll end the inning. Finally and mercifully for the Hickman County Bulldogs after surrendering 4. But now it's all about how the team so far this year, it's been a small sample size, but they've had a really hard time getting the bats going. Now, granted, they have faced some really good Creekwood pitching, but it feels like tonight they're making solid contact. Lewis smashed a single, Spiegelmeyer on the triple. So I think they're starting to figure it out, but it's going to take the bottom half of the order to put something together, just as we saw Houston County do. It was really their bottom half guys that got that rally started.
Yeah, and Josh, like I know our coaches always said in high school, the hitting is contagious. I mean, it just takes a couple guys, get a knock here and there, and then it starts to spread like a wildfire.
And up first for the Bulldogs in the bottom half of the second will be freshman Braden Chesser. And again, Case, a big opportunity for the freshman. We saw him on defense with that heads-up play, letting the bunt roll foul. But now he can turn around and show us his prowess offensively, because there's no better hit than you can have in an inning that doesn't result in RBIs than that leadoff single or leadoff double or whatever you might get. Getting a man on base with no outs is imperative for the Dogs if they want to continue rallying back in this one.
Bulldogs.
Man, how nice is it seeing Craig Shelton back, Case, right here with Hickman County Bulldog baseball. All is right in the world.
You're exactly right. It's amazing to have him back with the Bulldogs.
Seen him jog over to first base, the same coaching spot he played whenever I was in high school 7 years ago. First pitch to Chesser. Swung on and missed. Might have been just off the outside of the dish. Maybe Chesser getting a little antsy at the plate. The 0-1 from Forrester. Chesser again, swung on and missed. This one in the top half of the strike zone. So Chesser going to look to shorten up. Trying to make contact. That one misses inside, well off the plate. Chesser, of course, the son of longtime Hickman County High School baseball coach Clay Chesser. That ball skied into right center field. Houston's got a bead on it, and he corrals it for out number 1.
Now up, number 18, Ruger Toddy.
Now stepping in for the Dogs is senior Ruger Toddy. And Case, this Hickman County roster, it's both top-loaded and bottom-loaded. They've got a lot of freshmen, a lot of seniors on this team. So I guess if you want to look at it this way, they've got a lot of young, impressionable guys and a lot of good senior leaders to prepare that next generation. And Toddy takes that one inside, ball 1. And one thing that you absolutely have to have if you want to be a successful sports team, and that goes for any sport, whether it's basketball, football, soccer, and that's roster depth, Case. You got to have it. The 2-0. Missing off the edge. Toddy way ahead. 3-0 count. And Case, when you're looking for base runners, we're probably going to see Toddy play this one pretty conservative.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that, Josh. That's what I would do if I was Toddy, but hey, I'm not.
That one misses low, so a 4-pitch walk for Toddy. And the Bulldogs have a man
Now
on with
up,
1
number
out.
32, Jackson Warren.
First baseman Jackson Warren stepping in now for the Dogs. Forrester deals, pulls back the bunt. So that's now 5 straight from Forrester, and he's going to need to settle down on the mound. Again, he misses low. Nice block behind the plate. Toddy takes off. Throw down. Not in time. Hits off the glove of the shortstop. And a phenomenal read by Ruger Toddy. In most other sports, Case, people put such a value on physical speed, but in baseball, having that high IQ and getting good reads is almost more valuable than having straight wheels. At timeout, we're going to have a little conference on the mound. The catcher coming out, look to settle down Forrester.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think he's going to do here. He's just going to tell him, take a breath. He's been fine up to this point. Been a little bit wild the last few pitches. All right, there we go.
Well, I think what he also has to remind him is that he has a 4-1 lead. He's got a lot of cushion. The runner at second, while it does matter and it could pile up if you're not careful, you're not going to lose the game if that guy comes around to score. So you got to go one man at a time, starting with the guy at the plate. In case I know you're a former pitcher in your own right, so I'm sure you can appreciate a nice talking to from your catcher.
Oh, of course, yeah. My old good friend Wes Van Elkins, he would always come out there and calm me down.
And Warren pokes out there with the bunt missing. Probably should have just pulled back. And Blue said he went around. That'll be strike two. Warren down in the count 1-2. Looking for a little two-strike magic. Warren chokes up on the stick just a little bit. Toddy healthy lead at second. Forrester deals. Missing outside. Ball two, counts even.
I'd like to see the battle from Warren here. Just need to keep piling up base runners and make something happen.
We've seen that a few times in these Hickman County batters. They're really good at making Forrester work on the hill. Kicks and deals. Warren fights it off again. He stays alive.
I thought that was a good pitch to fight off like that. It looked like it was going to be really close to being a strike there on the inside corner.
Well, and something every coach or manager will say, don't leave it in the umpire's hands. Warren did just that right there, battling. Forrester spins, tries to pick him. Toddy slides back in safely, got away for a moment from the second baseman, but not far enough to cause any real chaos. So how about Ruger Toddy on the base pass, giving Forrester something to think about? So Warren looking to do a job. The 2-2. Warren up the gut, base hit. Coach Duchesne sends Toddy. Center fielder has some trouble with it, and Ruger's going to coast on home. And the Bulldogs have cut the lead in half, 4-2, after a phenomenal at-bat from Jackson Warren.
Fantastic at-bat, kept battling off several pitches, and then just puts one right up the middle like we talked about. The timing was on the money. Put it right up the middle. I think Toddy probably would have scored anyways, but center fielder having trouble with that definitely signed, sealed, and delivered that run.
Now Wyatt Bates had that phenomenal diving catch earlier in the game. Squares to bunt. Pulls back. Called strike at the belt. You know how valuable Bates is in the field. A phenomenal right fielder. Looking to do some damage with the stick. The 9-hole hitter usually called the second leadoff. Hound swung on. Foul tipped into the catcher's mitt. Strike two. Warren. Pretty humble lead over at first. And Bates fights it off. In case, that's a fantastic sign for these Bulldog hitters going forward. They are battling at the plate, not going down easy. Nobody tonight's been an easy out. The 0-2 to Bates. Forrester, catcher setting up outside. Deals. Backdoors him, call the ball. In case, while it was just slightly off the edge, that's a beautiful pitch from Forrester.
Josh, touching back on the tough at-bats they're given. I remember Coach Chester used to always tell us, if you put the ball in play, good things tend to happen.
And that's what he does there. Chopper. Third baseman fields it. Against his body to first in time. And Hickman County, this fan base doesn't like that one. We might see an appeal. We see Coach Shelton over there at first. And Coach Duchesne giving praise to Bates. He was moving, but a great play at third base as well by Houston County. That's not easy at all. So 2 outs. At the very least, it does move Warren up to second base, and now the top of the order with a chance to do some damage. Kraft popped out to the second baseman, his counterpart last time. As we begin the second trip through the order. First pitch to Kraft, misses tall. 1-0 from Forrester. In the hole. That's through, base hit. Windmill on from Warren. Throw in from right. It's offline. He's safe, and Kraft moves up to second. And the Dogs are within one with a man in scoring position. And look who's looming, John Michael Lewis.
Now up, number 4, John Michael Lewis.
So Kraft with a single advancing on the throw home. Warren had the RBI single. He comes across to score. We got a 4-3 ball game in the bottom of the second. And again, another conference on the mound between Forrester and his backstop. Coach Duchesne having a conversation with the umpire in case. What do you think they're talking about down there?
I mean, I think it's probably more the same. They're probably telling him, "Hey, you got two. You just need one. Just trust your guys behind you." And I think they're gonna, especially with Lewis, they're probably gonna just pitch to contact here. He wasn't really fooled by the backdoor breaking stuff after seeing one the last at bat, so he'll probably just try to trust his defense and get a easy out that way.
Lewis had that single up the middle his last time, a screamer.
Number 4, John Michael Lewis.
A chance to tie things up in the bottom half of the second. Forrester comes set. He deals. That backdoor pitch called for a strike, and that has been Forrester's bread and butter tonight, Case. It is absolutely filthy.
Right on cue, Josh. I was talking about how John Michael had seen it, and he's going to be fine with it now, but maybe after that one.
The 0-1. Called strike on the inside part. Lewis shaking his head.
That's massive for Forrester to get ahead 0-2 on Lewis.
Forrester looking to escape. The 0-2 pitch. Misses well behind Lewis, and Kraft got a great jump. Oh, he rounds third hard and has to pull up and head back to third, just making Houston County sweat a little bit.
Josh, after 2 straight breaking balls, it looked like he tried to blow one by Lewis and kind of overcooked the fastball and yanked it behind him.
Well, and Forrester's specialty is definitely his stuff, if you will. The break he can get on pitches. Not a huge velocity guy, but that didn't stop him from trying. The 1-2. Lewis skies it up in the air. Into the Centerville sky. Shortstop camping under it. Falling down, secures it somehow, some way. So crisis averted for the Fighting Irish, and they hold on to their 1-run lead. But the Bulldogs make a dent in the deficit, 4-3, heading to the top half of the third. You know, Case, we always like to say during these broadcasts that we encourage fans to come out here and support these young kids in person because there is nothing like the baseball atmosphere. I just took a bite into one of these hot dogs, spelled DAWGS, and it's been one of the best hot dogs I've had in some time.
Oh yeah, I mean that's one of the best parts about the game is just the atmosphere. And now that the weather is getting a little bit better, it feels great out here, and There's nothing like the baseball atmosphere.
You wouldn't know it, but just over a month ago, it was 0 degrees. Now we're looking at mid-70s, but you won't hear any complaints from me. The top of the third is underway, off the handle, but it's going to do a job, and Houston County with a leadoff single to start the third.
Now up 11. Farrell.
In case those are the kind of plays on the mound that you absolutely hate if you're Carter Bates. You made a good pitch on the inside, jammed him, but still just using raw strength. Just punches that ball over the third baseman's head. That was Donahue getting things started. For the Irish, and number 11, Farrell steps in. One man on, nobody out. Bates, look over to first. I just want to see Braden McCaleb gun somebody down at second case. I'm on the edge of my seat right now.
I would love nothing more because after that first throw, how strong it was, I'm ready to see another.
Pitch from Bates, misses low. Nice snag by McCaleb. The 1-0. Missing up and away. So after the leadoff single, Bates falling behind 2-0. He fires. This one a called strike. And some of Bates' best pitches tonight, Case, have been whenever he's been spotting the corners. He has done that really well tonight. That off-speed pitch popped up behind us. This might hit the top of the press box. We had to brace for impact, and trust me, if it hit, everybody would have heard it. So Bates works back. 2-2. Missing low, another great play behind the dish from McCaleb. Catcher, probably one of the most underappreciated positions on the baseball field, always working. Count goes full, runner on first, nobody out in the top of the third. Runner in motion, fouled away. Or as Dotson used to say when he was the PA announcer for baseball, foul ball. We're just playing all the hits tonight.
That's how you do the first ever broadcast.
3-2 again from Bates. Popped up. It's going to be playable. Warren underneath it, can't make the catch, and I believe it was in foul territory. It was. And those pop-ups today, Case, have been brutal. I mean, we saw at the end of the last inning, Houston County shortstop wasn't able to catch it without some theatrics.
Yeah, and that's another thing that just, when stuff like that adds up for the pitcher, it really weighs on you, and it tends to get your focus off of what it needs to be, which is just getting the batter out.
So the count stays 3-2, nobody out, and unless you've played baseball, I don't think you can truly understand how hard those infield pop-ups are to catch. Runner in motion again. Bates fires. Line down the left field line. It stays inside the line. Fair ball. Stone in pursuit. Stop sign at third. Chesser has some trouble with it. It short hops up on him. And that's a two-bagger for Houston County. So the Fighting Irish, after surrendering a couple of runs in the bottom half of the second, already in business. And right there, Case, if you're on the mound, if you're Carter Bates, that's in the back of your mind. You're thinking, what if?
Yeah, because, I mean, you're thinking like, well, I was, an inch away from already having him out, and there he goes, putting one down the line for a double.
That's his baseball.
Very true. That's part of the beauty of it.
And it's back to what I was saying earlier. You can't really understand what it's like to catch those infield pop-ups unless you've played. I mean, if you've ever been, the best way I can put this is if you've ever been in the upper levels of a really tall building, if you've ever stood on top of the Empire State Building, it starts to sway a little bit because of the foundation. That's sort of how an infield pop-up is. You think you know where it's going to go, but it continues to sway. Bates down 2-0. veteran stepping in, a chance to do some damage. Infield playing in, ground ball, slow roller to Chesser. He goes home with it, high throw, in time, he's out at the plate. A great play by Chesser coming in strong, and great wherewithal, a great snag by McCaleb, and a fantastic tag to finish the job.
And that feels good for a pitcher to have your guys shoot the guy down at home like that.
Start calling Chester the grizzled young veteran out there on third base, the way he plays the hot corner. Like Brooks Robinson, the human vacuum cleaner over at third base. Runner on the corners. Runner takes off. McCaleb fires it back to Bates, and that is a vintage Hickman County first and third play. Now, most of the time, I feel like nowadays, because we've seen it so much, runners don't really fall for it much anymore, but it all depends on how you sell it if you're the catcher. But again, the Bulldogs playing in, not wanting to give up anything. Bates ahead 0-1. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed up top. That was eye level. It's like we said earlier. Those are tempting. The 0-2 Bates. Big pitch coming. Missed it down and away. Breaking ball. Great block by McCaleb. Already, we're seeing McCaleb's prowess as one of the best defensive catchers in the district. Swung on and missed, and Bates 2 away, and he is 1 out away from escaping danger.
There we go, Carter. We needed that one.
And now the infield can play back, block up a ground ball, and go the easy way to first. Bates continues walking a tightrope. First pitch, call the strike on the inside corner. As they say in the dugout, start ahead, stay ahead. Bates looking to do that here. Popped him up. Kraft calls off Lewis. And the Bulldogs escape the jam. What a job by Carter Bates. Pitching under duress. And it stays 4-3, and the Bulldogs with a chance to make some noise offensively as we head to the bottom half of the third. We'll be back. Well, we still are working out some kinks for sure. Trying to figure out how we want to go about these baseball broadcasts. And it's not as easy as you might think, but it has been an absolute blast through almost 3 innings. And we thank all of you for joining us on WNKX for the inaugural baseball broadcast. Now McCaleb, the backstop, looking to get things started for the Dogs. First pitch swinging, and it's fouled back off the net.
McCaleb with that Rod Carew-esque batting stance.
I was about to quiz you, Case. What does that look like? Took the words right out of my mouth.
Another Twins legend. We
Of course.
already have one in the house.
Yeah. The 0-1 to McCaleb. Misses away off the glove of the catcher. I was going to say, too, Case, how privileged are these Hickman County Bulldogs to be able to work with a World Series champion pitcher in Mike Smithson?
Oh, no kidding. I mean, he's a huge help, and I remember he was a huge help for me with like basketball too. I mean, a guy who's like amazing at both. It's nice to have at a small town, Hickman County, Tennessee.
Well, and I'm sure anyone who knows Mike Smithson already knows this, but he went to college to be a basketball player at the University of Tennessee, All-American. Just so happened to be caught throwing baseball, and coach liked him enough, gave him a spot on the team, and the rest is history. So what a story that is. And if you ever get a chance, just ask him about it. Get to talk to your legends in the community like Mike Smithson. The 2-2 pitch to McCaleb. Skied to center. Coming in, camped underneath it. Makes the play for out number 1.
Now up, number 1, Aiden Spiegelmeyer.
Spiegelmeyer had the triple earlier. Looking to do some more damage. The first pitch back up the box. That's a base hit for Spigs.
Now up, number 5, Carter Banks.
Now with a triple and a single, Case, is it too early to say cycle watch?
I think we can declare that he is on cycle watch. But hey, like you said last time, how he keeps his hands inside that. You could see it perfectly on that right there, right up the middle. A little bit the other way, too.
Well, Kaysen, you've known me for a while. We've talked about this before. You know how much I despise the shift because it usually puts a defender right behind second base. And to me, that punishes good hitting because when you're hitting the ball hard up the middle, you are doing exactly what you're trained to do since you were able to walk.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Josh, and I know that's how you feel, and I've always felt.
We got a congregation on the mound. The skipper comes out to talk to his pitcher, looking to settle him down a little bit, especially now that there's a base running threat over at first base in Spiegelmeyer. And Case, I look out to the parking lot. There are so many cars here, not only supporting these baseball Bulldogs, but the soccer team up there on the hill as well. It is such a good time to be a Bulldog.
Oh yeah, great to see, and sadly basketball wrapped up the way it did, but I would love to see these bleachers filled up on a nightly basis. It's so much fun to be down here.
So stepping in is the pitcher. Carter Bates squares to bunt, pulls back, catches the corner, strike 1. Maybe a generous strike call. Bates bringing back that traditional pitcher in the lineup, squaring to bunt with the guy on first, less than 2 outs. Pick off over to first. I believe that's the first move we've seen over from Forrester tonight. As a lefty, a significant advantage holding runners on at first, but hasn't been using it too much tonight. Oh, 0-1 on Bates. Spiegelmeyer, decent lead, continues to add. Slide steps. Bates puts a bunt down right back to the mound. Forrester's only play is to first. So Bates is out, but Spiegelmeyer moves up to second, and now it's the freshman Braden Chesser with a chance to tie the game.
And Josh, you saw that huge jump that Spiegelmeyer got. I think I've kind of noticed the same thing he did with the pitcher. It looked like on his pickoff move, he really had that high knee, but when he was just throwing out the stretch, he didn't even lift it. He just kind of glides down the mound.
It's almost Clayton Kershaw-esque out of the stretch.
Exactly.
So Chesser, first pitch, misses away. Saw Braden Chesser make that phenomenal play at third last half inning, cutting down a sure run at home. Now a chance to make an impact offensively. Flew out to center his last time up. Forrester gives a look back to Spiegelmeyer, deals to the plate. Caught the corner, strike one. And much like basketball players have to adjust to officials and how they call it, how lenient, how strict, baseball players and hitters especially have to be wary of how umpires, how they call strikes and balls. This umpire has been favoring that outside corner all night tonight. Chesser, chopper to short. Third baseman's got it. Play to first is low. And a nice play at first to help out his third baseman. And that's going to end the inning.
Josh Copley-esque scoop there by the first baseman.
Oh, please. You flatter me. But a great stretch, great play at first. And, you know, we talked about how underappreciated catchers are. First basemen also have to be at the top of that list for underappreciated positions. And no, I'm not biased at all. All right, Case, well, I got to ask, what's your go-to ballpark food?
Oh, I'm glad you asked because without a doubt, I think I got to say hot dog. Like, so much so where I don't even really like eating hot dogs outside of the baseball park just because I think it's a baseball thing. That's
kind of like listening to Christmas music outside of Christmas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Could not put it in better words.
That's respectable, though. I think for me, it depends on where I am. If I'm here at Mike Smithson Field, I want a hot dog. But if I'm at Great American Ballpark up in Cincinnati, favorite team being the Reds, I think I want a slice of La Rosa's pizza.
Oh, not any Skyline chili?
Not a big Skyline guy, Case. I'll try to get into it, though. I'm just not a big chili guy. Another beautiful throwdown from McCaleb. I'm going to say that every half inning he's out there.
And that's so good to have because if I remember correctly, John Michael Lewis used to play catcher.
And still does, I believe.
Okay.
He mixes in from what I know.
Who also has an incredible arm.
He does.
So it's nice to have a couple of guys that can do that.
And of course, Lewis exerts himself a lot on the mound as one of the main pitchers on this roster. And catching is a heavy workload, so shortstop get to stretch the legs a little bit. So Bates deals. First pitch misses high.
Speaking of the arm from Lewis, he still hasn't been hit a ball this game. I'm waiting to see him unleash that ball to the first baseman.
That one misses down and in. Speaking of shortstops with strong arms, that takes me back to my playing days. I think about Grant Dotson being at shortstop, unloading, throwing it as hard as he possibly could across the diamond. Strike one from Bates. But Grant was a phenomenal defensive shortstop. Bunt down, it's a good one. Bates tries to make a play on it. Throw to first. Pulls Warren off the bag, but he applies the tag to get the out.
Now up, number
Looked
8.
like the base runner was playing a little bit of a nice guy there. Didn't want to run into the first baseman, so he kind of slowed down there and hurt himself.
Warren's not going to complain about that one, though. I think Bates was almost surprised at how much time he had to get that ball to first, because usually you're used to having to rush yourself, but that bunt not as close to the line as he would have wanted. First pitch misses inside. And that might be due to the fact that McCaleb was set up slightly outside, and if umpires see that you missed that spot, they're not going to do you any favors. And that ball hit well to left. Stone giving chase, back it goes, and it's off the wall. That'll be an easy stand-up double.
Stone, though, did a good job of playing it off the wall there and getting throw in,
Now up,
eliminating it to a double.
Burgess.
So Burgess stepping in now. And Forrester has been so lethal with the bat in his hand, Case. He does it on the mound, does it at the plate. Definitely one of the premier players on this Fighting Irish team. So Bates now one down, runner at second. First pitch misses upstairs. Second pitch, swung on and missed. Strike one, 1-1 the count. We've got 1 on, 1 out, 1-1 count. Uno Wild at Hickman County High School. That one's popped up, fouled away. And I can't even begin to imagine how much confidence that last inning on the mound for Bates. I can't imagine what that did for his confidence. And now when he's got a guy in scoring position, he can think, well, it's no big deal for me. I've worked out on one jam. Why not do another? The 1-2 from Bates. Popped him up. Bates calls it off. Takes it himself for out number 2.
And that's the infield in him there, going and taking that. If that was me, I'm just telling somebody to come take it from me there.
But you know, Case, I don't think anybody would have had time. That really wasn't hit all that high.
Yeah.
So Bates, you know, one of the rare times a pitcher really has no choice in the matter.
That's a good point.
But at the high school level, you know, you think about the pros and pitchers, you know, they spend every waking moment pitching and honing their stuff. But at the high school level, it's full of athletes that play anywhere on any given night. So even though he's a pitcher, has no problem playing defense himself out there. I was watching some Greg Maddox Golden Glove highlights. That's pop foul over the press box. The greatest defensive pitcher to ever play the game with 18 Golden Glove awards, and Bates channeling a little bit of that, catching that pop-up.
Oh, yeah, he was the best, and because of that, my dog is named after him.
Pitch on the way, skied, shallow center. Coming in strong, and Spiegelmeyer with the putout. And that brings the top half of the 4th to a close. So, Forrester had the 1-out double, but he won't find his way home. The Bulldogs keep it within 1 as we head to the bottom half. Case, I really don't think it gets any more American than this. I have a hot dog in one hand, baseball in front of me, and courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue by Toby Keith playing over the loudspeaker.
If only we just had a slice of apple pie sitting in front of us, that would complete it.
I've been listening to the playlist tonight, Case. There's been some classic rock, but a lot of country dominating the playlist, and it takes me back when Mike Smithson had the reins over the playlist, and it was exclusively classic rock, 70s, 80s, 90s even.
Oh yeah, I remember a lot of my my basketball teammates when he would play that music weren't particularly fond of it, but I myself, you know, that's my kind of music.
Now Toddy stepping in for the Dogs. Drew a walk his last time up and came around to score. And much like his teammates' Case, Toddy, a tremendous at-bat his last time up to work that walk. Forrester, the southpaw, still on the bump for Houston County. That one misses away, ball 1. The 1-0 to Toddy. Missing down and in. The 2-0. Toddy. Pretty wise take there, a low strike call. Forrester delivers quickly. Fouled off, and look out. Over in the Fighting Irish dugout. Toddy's been here before. 2-2 count. Forrester deals. Misses outside. And that is his go-to put-away pitch, the back door. Looks like almost a cutter on the outside part of the plate. Count goes full, Toddy. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. A half-hearted swing there, and Forrester notches the K.
32, Jackson Warren.
And I believe that's a testament to the discipline of these Hickman County hitters tonight. I believe that's their first strikeout. It comes in the bottom of the fourth. Second strikeout. Still not bad. Ideally, you have 0. It's Warren at the plate. Swung on and missed, strike one, and taking you back to the last time Jackson Warren was at the plate, he had the single that drove in Ruger Toddy. And Warren himself would come around to score as he takes a healthy hack. 1-2 count, Forrester. Winds, kicks, and deals. Swung on and missed. Back-to-back punch-outs for Forrester.
Now up, number 7, Wyatt Bates.
In case, really, it's rare that you see a pitcher get stronger as the night goes on, but Forrester has recovered from that disastrous inning back in the second pretty nicely. Put up a 0 last inning, and this inning starting it off with 2 strikeouts, and maybe he's just now hitting his stride, and that could be disastrous for these Bulldog batters. First one misses off the outside corner to Wyatt Bates, the 9-hole hitter. Takes that one upstairs for a strike between the belt and the letters. Bates was called out his last time up on that questionable call at first base. Bates ahead in the count 2-1. Forrester fires. That's a tough take there from Bates. Looked to be a bit off the edge. Called strike 2. Right now, Case, you'd wish you could tap the helmet and go to that ABS.
Yeah, and Josh, a lot of the pitches that are just, maybe a ball on the outside that have been called, I'm okay with those. But that one, that one was pretty far outside and it wasn't moving. It looked like a fastball. So yeah, that one's tough for Bates, who also got, like you said, called out controversially last at bat.
The 3-2 pitch. Bates swung on and missed, and Forrester retires the side in order, all via the K. And Houston County has snatched some momentum back as they head to the top half of inning number 5.
Automotive and Owens Oil.
So we had a pretty exciting and explosive start to this one, but recently Case has turned into a defensive/pitching affair. A lot of zeros put up on that scoreboard these last couple innings.
Yeah, let's see the Dogs put up another 0 defensively here.
And to be expected, I think both of these starters are going to be going pretty deep in this one. Bates and Forrester, both super, super reliable guys for their respective team. And at the high school level, especially when you're as small as Hickman County is, you're not expected to have 5, 10 pitchers on standby like you have at the college level or the professional level. So as much longevity as you can get out of your starter, that goes a long way to making or breaking a team sometimes.
Especially when you play as many games as they do, as baseball does.
Donahue stepping in for the Fighting Irish. Bates deals. Line is short, right at Lewis, and he puts it away himself for out number 1. In case you said it last inning, haven't seen Lewis with a chance to show off that arm and doesn't get to there, but we're getting closer.
Yeah, he made a great play, though, nonetheless.
Well, if there's any young baseball players watching this broadcast, you can learn a thing or two about that play because some guys will back up and play the short hop, but instead Lewis takes his 1 or 2 steps in and catches it in the air. The much easier play. The pitch, cracked to left field. Stone fading back, and he makes the play. That one falls short of what would be the warning track if there was one out there. So quickly, 2 up, 2 down. And again, talking about the value of your starting pitcher going deep into a game, they go deep into a game by having quick innings like this. And that one's popped up, left field. Stone in pursuit makes the play. And the Fighting Irish go down in a hurry, 1, 2, 3, and we're heading to the bottom half of the 5th, and we are over halfway through this one at Douglas T. Bates III Stadium. Well, if you had to do something like use the bathroom or blink, you probably missed that last hop of the inning. And what a job out there by Carter Bates. And sometimes what makes a good pitcher isn't always having dominant stuff to blow you away, throwing 100 miles an hour, getting strikeouts. But if you can pitch to contact and, keeping that contact relatively weak, that makes for just as efficient of a starting pitcher.
Yeah, and how about Braden Stone? I mean, missed the one earlier, then had the one that, that went off the wall. He couldn't have gotten that one, but to make 2 back-to-back plays there, that's big for the team and for his confidence.
Carter Bates is loving seeing his defense out there making plays, and there's no worse feeling in the world than being a pitcher on the mound, feeling like you're all alone on an island, knowing that if a ball gets hit into play, it's pretty much a guaranteed base runner. But Bates hasn't had to worry about that tonight. His outfield is working hard. Spiegelmeyer's had some putouts in center. Bates had that diving play in right field to start the game. And now Stone's really turned things around out in left. And we know what this infield can do. They've been making plays all night, but the outfield's really been bringing it together defensively.
Now up for your Bulldogs, number 9, Andy Kraft.
That will be the top of the dog lineup the 3rd time through. Andy Kraft, the son of a sheriff. The second baseman getting things started in the bottom half of the 5th. Bottom half of the 5. Forrester still out there. His first pitch, Kraft. Down the right field line, that one's going to drift foul. And again, Case, these dogs have been living in the opposite field. Stepping out of the box, the umpire went down the line to... Was the umpire the one that got the foul ball? That's unbelievable commitment. If I'm out there, I'm making one of these young guys go run down the line to get that one for me. Now the 0-1 to Kraft. Swung on and missed. Came out of his shoes on that swing, and that was a nasty bender from Forrester, fooling Kraft. And Andy traditionally chokes up on the bat, relies on his contact and speed more so than just sheer power. The 0-2 misses outside.
That was a good take, but I was really scared that the umpire was going to give him that call again.
That one in the other batter's box. The 1-2 to Kraft from Forrester. Cracked foul. Off down the right field line, and we might have a problem here, Case. I haven't seen one freshman come out of that dugout to go get a foul ball.
There must have been a change in how the program runs since we've been through here.
But we know Coach Duchesne runs a tight ship. The 1-2 to Kraft, swung on and missed. Again, got him with the breaking ball, and that is 4 straight strikeouts for Forrester.
Yeah, like you said earlier, it's not with every pitcher that you see them, get stronger as the game goes on, but some they do, and then certainly true with Forrester here.
And one bulldog is looking to put a ball in play, and it's Lewis. Misses off the corner.
Now this is a big test for a pitcher who has 4 strikeouts in a row and looking for a 5th with Lewis coming up.
The 1-0 downstairs, ball 2. Lewis has singled and popped out the short in 2 trips at the plate. And Forrester takes a walk around the mound. Not sure what just happened there. Either way, the 2-0 pitch misses off the plate. Great discipline from Lewis.
Forrester probably thinking, man, I was getting that call earlier. Like, where's that now? That I'm facing Lewis.
The 3-0. Forrester deals. This one called a strike on the black. And right there, if you're Forrester, that's where you want to live. Make the big power guy in Lewis just sit back and punch something the other way as opposed to being able to turn on it. Well, or maybe not, as he smokes the ball into right field for a base hit. No spot on the field is safe as far as John Michael Lewis is concerned. And he moves to 2 for 3 on the day with a couple of base knocks. That brings in Braden McCaleb, the heart of the order, coming up now for the Dogs with a man on and 1 away. Thuggish, ruggish bone. My sister plays that song all the time. First pitch to McCaleb. Ball down. Do we start calling him Braden Carew, Case? What do you think?
What's that?
Braden Carew, what do you think?
Oh.
It's like the Great Rod.
Yeah, I mean, that is his stance is it's almost like he modeled it after Rod Carew. Because, like, you don't see that ever, especially with young kids, just with the bat pointed directly at us.
We like seeing some of the younger guys paying homage to the legends of the sport. 1-1. Lewis takes off, throwing a second on the money, and it's in time. So Lewis, trying to get in a scoring position with less than 2 outs, runs into a tag. Now the base is clear with 2 away. That's rough case. Lewis just not known for his wheels. The heart of the order coming up. Maybe like to see them just trust McCaleb and their batters coming up. But hindsight is always 20/20. I'm fouled away by McCaleb. 2-2 count, 2 away in the home half of the 5th. Houston County leads Hickman 4-3. Here's the pitch. Woo! Tried to backdoor him, called ball 3. In case had this been last inning or 2 innings ago, that's called strike 3.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you on that. That was getting called earlier.
The 3-2 count goes full. Forrester deals. Missing inside and down, and McCaleb draws a walk.
Now up, number 1, Aiden Spigabonner.
And after the base on balls, McCaleb will be courtesy ran for. Spiegelmeyer, who's on hashtag cycle watch with a single and a triple, looking to do some more damage here.
Let's go ahead and get the homer out of the way here, Josh. What do you think?
Something easy. Just bash out a windshield out there in left center field. Forrester deals to Spigs, misses away, and it gets away from the catcher. And the courtesy runner moves up easily to second. Spiegelmeyer has been one of the most dangerous hitters tonight, and he's got a man in scoring position as the Houston County skipper makes a trip out to the mound again. So, Case, I had to ask who that courtesy runner was, number 23. And it's Major Qualls, the senior, who made his return to Hickman County this year, played basketball for Coach Dawson, now continuing on his sports career with baseball. We know that kid is just an absolute athlete, great speed. And it's good to see Major back in the Hickman County school system. Comes from a great family who've called Hickman County their home for some time.
And he's another lefty pitcher in the Bulldogs have.
I believe so. And Hickman County certainly lacking lefties, not just on the mound, but at the plate as well. And that hasn't hurt him tonight dealing with a lefty in Forrester, but eventually you're going to run into some strong right-handed arms. But now the break has concluded and all eyes on Spiegelmeyer, runner on second base. Fouled off down the third base line.
And Josh, I believe I just saw two Bulldogs returning with a foul ball. So I think we just missed
Let's
a
go.
lead.
All is right in the world. The 1-1 to Spigs. Forrester kicks and deals. Misses away. Spiegelmeyer now ahead in the count. Deals. Misses low. In case, it's very possible Forrester doesn't want anything to do with Spiegelmeyer at the plate.
I wouldn't either, especially he probably got word that Aiden was on cycle watch, and that he might be destined to hit a homer here.
The 3-1 to Spiegelmeyer. Misses ball 4.
Now up, number 5.
So the Bulldogs have a couple of ducks on the pond. Qualls at second. Spiegelmeyer at first, and digging in is Carter Bates. And there hasn't been a better opportunity tonight for a pitcher to help himself than right now. And Bates struck out his first time up, delivered a sac bunt his second trip, and now looking to put something into the outfield. With Qualls' speed, anything hit to the outfield more than likely ties it. Forrester deals to Bates. Swung on and missed. Bates doing a little bit of fishing below the zone. The 0-1 misses way up and slightly outside. Heard one of the players yell, "Leave it for the birds," and I don't think I could have said it any better. High leverage spot for Forrester on the mound. Maybe some fatigue setting in too. Here's the pitch. Misses away. Deep breath from Forrester on the mound. He deals. Swung on, hit to the gap. That's down, base hit. Windmill on for Qualls. He'll score. Spiegelmeyer flies around third. He scores, and Carter Bates has put the Bulldogs ahead with a 2 RBI, 2-base hit.
number 28, Braden Chester.
And we talked about it, Case. No better way to help yourself on the mound than by giving your guys the lead.
What a swing with 2 outs, puts it in the gap, scoring 2.
That was awesome. Absolute cinema. But now it's time to keep that line rolling, Case. The Bulldogs have the lead, but knowing the ebbs and flows of this one, you can't be content. You've got to keep the foot on the gas, and Braden Chester doesn't have a hit tonight, but could deliver here with an RBI. The man on second base. And with 2 outs, a backbreaker for Forrester on the mound. Here's the pitch to Chester. Swung on. Past the first baseman. Windmill on at third. Throw to the plate. Offline. And Braden Chester delivers. Dogs lead 6-4.
Number 18, Ruger Todd.
You know, Case, whenever I watch pro baseball, when I watch the Reds, you hear the term the Rally Reds. But how about the Battling Bulldogs tonight?
Here we go, and this is all the 2 outs, Josh. This is massive for the Bulldogs and deflating for the Irish.
First pitch called a strike. In Case, how about the wheels of junior Kylan Seal, who was courtesy running for Bates out at second? He was moving for a big man around third. Chester out at first. Oh, that one called a strike, I guess. Caught the corner, but now Toddy needs to bear down. The designated hitter hitting for Stone. He's walked and punched out. 0-2 pitch. Chester leads off first. That one misses well away. Chester adds one to his lead. Forrester deals. Missed it low.
Josh, after the 4 straight strikeouts for Forrester, we got single, walk, walk, double, single. So no, and the only out since then was the stolen base attempt by Lewis. Since the strikeout streak, no outs from the pitcher.
That ball misses just upstairs. Maybe a break for Toddy. And that runs the count full 3-2. And that means there will be action over at first. Chester going to get a head start. So if Toddy can find a gap somewhere, could be trouble. The 3-2 pitch. Chester takes off, misses away. And the Bulldogs have more men in scoring position.
Now up, number 32, Jackson Warren.
Number 32, Jackson Warren stepping in. He had that clutch RBI single his first time up. Struck out his last time.
How about another one of those clutch RBI singles here, Josh? Come on, Jackson.
Won't hear complaints from me. Forrester looking to dance out of danger. Misses high. Ball 1.
Josh, looks like still no one throwing down there in the bullpen of the Irish.
So they're going to ride with Forrester. They're going to trust him to get out of this. Warren, check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. No appeal needed.
He just needs one more out. So they're really relying on him to get out of this inning. But another, like we said, another single from Warren here could definitely change that.
And we're seeing the youth in full effect on this Hickman County team. It was the freshman Chester with an RBI knock, and now it's a sophomore Jackson Warren who's already done damage, looking to do a little bit more. 1-1 pitch. Caught the corner, strike 2.
That was a really good 1-1 pitch there from Forrester. That was really good.
Warren chokes up on the bat, looking to protect. 1-2. 2 men on, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th. Forrester deals. Off the plate, ball 2. Forrester has been living and dying on that outside edge. Two. Missed away. And Forrester goes hands to knees. And as a pitcher, you never want to show signs of frustration on the mound, but that's close. Now, it was a breaking ball, so maybe it didn't come back across till after it was past the plate. And if so, then that is the correct call. But 3-2, 2 outs. Runner's going to be in motion. Here's the pitch. Warren pops it up. Second baseman under it. And he makes the play. Inning over. But not before the Bulldogs do some damage and retake the lead. It's 6-4 in favor of the Dogs as we head to the 6th. We're going to have to come down from cloud 9 a little bit, Case, after that last inning. That was something else. And something else to note, too, is Houston County's got a lot of tired legs. They were standing out there for a long time. Now they got to turn around and swing the lumber, or metal. With how good baseball players are getting these days, Case, I wouldn't be surprised, especially at the college level, to see them start implementing wood bats as well.
And Josh, it looks like a young Irish player has entered the bullpen, so potentially relieving Forrester to begin next inning.
Well, he has thrown a lot of pitches out there on the mound.
That's what I was going to say. We don't have pitch count, but I mean, I can only imagine it's upwards of 100.
But Bates still out there to start the 6th inning, in the first pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. The bottom third of the order due up for the Irish. That second pitch is fouled off to the right. Bates with an 0-2. Going to put away Ruse. Swung on and missed.
Now up, number 15, Spurgeon.
Bates notches a K, and Spurgeon stepping in for Houston County. The second strikeout tonight for Carter Bates, and not known for his strikeouts, but you're not going to complain when you get him here and there. Bates quickly deals, and ducking out of the way is Spurgeon. Something he didn't do, though, was pull that bat down.
That's what I was going to say, Josh. I just wish it would have clanked that metal there.
I don't want to steal your thunder. You are the color guy, of course. So. We've got people lined up all down that left field fence watching the Dogs. That pitch misses, I guess, low. Called for a ball. That's a tough take. Spurgeon ahead in the count. Bates deals. Ground ball to third. Diving attempt by Chesser, but it stays fair down the line. Spurgeon runs for 2. Stone throw to second is cut off by Lewis. And just like that, the Fighting Irish have a man in scoring position with less than 2 out.
Now up, number 12, Reeves.
And that was full extension from Chesser down there at third.
Yeah, great effort. Just a perfectly placed ball there.
And a courtesy runner for Houston County. Going to give their catcher a chance to rest his legs before going out behind the plate. The 9-hole hitter Reams now in the box. Misses inside. Reams is one of the few lefties we've seen tonight. The pitch, called for a ball. If that was on the other corner, maybe he would have got that for a strike. The 2-0 from Bates, right down the pipe. Going to work his way back into the count. Bates quickly coming set. Increasing the tempo, misses inside. Dancing out of danger is Reams. In case, do you like how Bates is changing his tempo out there on the mound?
Yeah, especially with a guy who you know is going to be quick and a courtesy runner with him on second. And also with...
That ball's lined. Leaping play by Kraft to Lewis at second. They've got him doubled off. Inning over.
Andy Kraft, what a play.
Look at the son of a sheriff getting up. What a play to send us to the bottom half of inning number 6. Lead still intact. In case we're lucky, if his feet were glued to the dirt, that's an RBI base hit.
Yeah.
We can rest easy knowing Houston County did not put any sticky traps out there between first and second base. Again, man, these Bulldogs are just athletes. They can do it all. Running fast, jumping high, lifting heavy weight, you name it. You know, Case, I'm looking out to center field. Usually that's the peanut gallery out there that doesn't pay for season tickets. And I would always give Mike and Regina Elkins a hard time. And I was actually in PA one night, and I got a text from an unknown number. And it said, "Hey, buddy, we actually pay for tickets. We just want to sit out here." And I found out that it was Regina texting from, or Mike texting from Regina's phone, one of the two. But we got a good laugh out of it. Whether you're sitting in a bleacher or in a lawn chair, your support means a lot to these guys.
But hey, they got all the home run balls.
They do. Go take it to the concession stand for a free ring pop or whatever they used to do. We have yet to have, maybe they did Monday and I just missed it, but we have yet to have our first headlight warning of 2026. It never fails. Somebody's out there, got the radio cranked up, listening to WNKX, and they've got their brights on. Blinding the home plate umpire and the catcher and the batter.
Yeah, right into the left-handed batter's eyes. Strategically placed headlights.
It's the opposite of whatever a batter's eye is. So a new arm on the mound for Houston County. It's a righty. That's number 11, Farrell.
Now up for your Bulldogs, number 7, Wyatt Baines.
So, Case, it's definitely going to be a new look for these Bulldogs. You get adjusted and acclimated to that left-handed style of pitching for 5 innings. Now, all of a sudden, you got to change on a dime. And, Case, what are some of the best ways to quickly adjust to a new arm?
Well, hey, I didn't hit, so I'm not the best guy to ask. But, you know, with a starter, you can say, you can take an at-bat and see him. But whenever a guy comes in from the bullpen, it gets a little bit harder, right? So, you just got to, like he just did there, maybe see a pitch, maybe 2, especially if you get a first pitch ball, maybe take another, like he did, and just really focus on where the ball's coming out of.
And Farrell probably bringing a little bit more velo than Forrester did. And whether he has the same movement or stuff, well, that remains to be seen. And against the first batter he faces, he runs it to 3-0. It's Wyatt Bates digging in before the lineup rolls over. The 3-0 from Farrell. Called a strike on the corner. It's a good take there by Bates. Pitcher hasn't proven to have much control yet coming out of the bullpen, and don't want to help him here. 3-1. Oh, misses up.
Josh, you talked about the velocity that probably got ticked up with this new pitcher. As the Washington Nationals would say, we don't care how fast ball 4 is.
I've never heard that. But what you don't want is a hitter. If you're Wyatt Bates, you don't want a guy throwing that kind of velocity buzzing the tower.
Hey, good thing about this, though, Wyatt Bates getting ran for, he can go back in the dugout and, tell the guys, how the pitcher looked out there. That's another way to get acclimated to the new arm.
And it's easy for high school kids to goof off when you're in the on-deck circle, too. But it's very important that you stay focused and time him up the best you can. It's not exactly like a live at-bat, but any advantage you can get helps. But the Dogs have a man on first and nobody out in the bottom of the 6th. Kraft squares to bunt, pulls back. Missing away, ball 1. Farrell comes set. He steps off. Give him a lot to think about on the mound. Kraft out of the box, getting the sign from Coach Duchesne. Low hands, potentially the signs of a bunt. He squares, pulls back. This one right over the heart of the plate, called strike 1. Farrell, slide step, misses low to the backstop. And the runner will advance with ease up to second base. The Bulldogs are in business. Nobody out. Runner on second in the bottom of the 6th. The roster page I have doesn't have a number 2 listed. But it is who courtesy ran for Wyatt Bates. And we've got word from our press box assistant that is Kincaid Green, number 2, who courtesy ran. He's been training a lot at Average Joe's Gym with new trainee Justin Bowman.
And that's another kid who was around the clubhouse a lot when I was a senior with his dad being one of our assistants. So that makes me feel old.
That's how I feel looking at this entire freshman class. So 2-1 to Kraft. Squares again, pops up the bunt attempt. Catcher giving chase, but it harmlessly bounces off the net. 2-2. And that'll drive a coach crazy, Case, if you don't get those bunts down. I know for me, if I didn't get my bunt down, Coach Chesser would look at me with hate in his eyes and give me the bunt sign again with 2 strikes and tell me you either get it down or you're getting out. So 2-2 to Kraft. Runner on second. Nobody out. Here's the pitch. Fouled off to the right.
Now, Josh, what was a slugger like you getting the bunt sign for? That's all I want to know.
Well, as they say, bunting's a good way to break out of a slump, and I saw a lot of those. I had a pretty decent sophomore year, but alas. 2-2 to Kraft. Misses up top, ball 3. In case on those pitches, on 2-strike pitches where it's close, it feels like time freezes for a few seconds. Everybody's just waiting in anticipation for what the umpire is going to say. But Kraft has drawn it full. Line drive to center. Oh, and a leaping grab by the center fielder. Not the best of reads, but he comes down with the out all the same. Kraft almost making some burnt toast out there in center field.
Yeah, and great job by Green too, because from my vantage point, I thought that was gonna burn him. Like you said, it almost did. But yeah, great leaping grab there by the center fielder.
Now it's an RBI opportunity for the slugger, John Michael Lewis. A couple of singles tonight. Looking to widen the lead. Lewis tried to call time, doesn't get it. But works out for him as that one misses well outside for ball one. There are worse times to not get time given to you. And all credit to the umpire, he did put the hand up pretty late. 1-0 to Lewis. Missing down, ball two. I don't want to say there's ever a good time to face John Michael Lewis at the plate, but it makes matters worse when you're down in the count 2-0. Here's the pitch. Oh, called a strike up and in on Lewis.
Looks like Lewis is, saying, yeah, maybe. Looked like he nodded at his coach.
Well, you get three for a reason, and sometimes the pitcher just executes. The 2-1 to Lewis. Missing outside. Close.
Looked like that one kind of froze the umpire there for a second. He looked.
Hey, when umpires get acclimated to how a pitcher's movement, does as well. So when you have a new arm, that's adjusting you've got to do as an umpire. 3-1. John Michael way ahead. That one misses way outside, and Lewis draws the base on balls.
Now up, number 12.
And now it's number 12, Braden McCaleb, stepping up with two guys on and one out. In case, I don't think we can stress how important these insurance runs are on first and second base, especially going into the last inning.
Yeah, certainly. It's gonna feel great for whoever it is, whoever it may be on the mound, whether it's Carter Bates or anyone else who might take the reins.
And McCaleb swings on an inside fastball, jammed him a little bit, fouls it off to the right above the Houston County dugout. The 0-1. And it gets away from the catcher. Both runners will move up. And that's really plagued the Irish tonight, Case. There have been so many times where, they've been in a position to work out a potential danger, but the occasional wild pitch, and now all of a sudden the double plays off the table, and you got to bring the infield in with a power hitter like McCaleb. The 1-1. Called a strike. The catcher had to slide to his knees to catch that one. Maybe it was a bit off the spot, but it's still across the plate all the same, according to the umpire.
Man, I love his batting stance, though.
It's very old school. The 1-2. Swung on and missed, and McCaleb goes down on strikes.
Now up, number 1, Aiden Spiegelmeyer.
And that brings up number 1, Aiden Spiegelmeyer. A triple, a single, and a walk.
And Josh, I'm really interested to see how they pitch Spiegelmeyer here with an open base with 2 outs. Seemingly pitched around him at his last at bat. It seemed like he knew that the way that he bat flipped after walking.
With 2 outs, Farrell might just trust his own stuff. First pitch in there for a strike, coming right at him, bringing the heat.
The right-handed dogs used to Forster living on the outside. Now, new pitcher in and using the inside of the plate really well.
That one misses just upstairs for ball 1. Away, ball 2. And these are these high leverage spots that you live for as a baseball player. Here's the pitch from Farrell. This one misses. Ball 3, 3-1. Now, Case, I don't want to say that Farrell's trying to work around him at all. I think he's just off.
Yeah, you're probably right, especially with how Bates' last at bat ended with that gap shot double with him sitting on
The
deck.
3-1. Called strike 2. That's a tough take and probably a smart take, though.
Yeah, that's probably a good 3-1 take.
At that spot, at that velocity, hard to do much with it. But now Spiegelmeier going to have to bear down 3-2, 2 out, 2 runners in scoring position. Dogs up by 2, 6-4. Here's the pitch. Fouled away. Spiegelmeier hasn't been an easy out all night. As a matter of fact, they haven't gotten him out, and we're seeing right now why that's the case. Farrell looking to escape danger. Swung on and missed by Spiegelmeier. And Farrell escapes with no runs given up, and he's kept his guys in the game. The Irish have a chance, down 2, 6-4, as we head to the final inning of play. And it looks like Carter Bates is going to be out there to try to finish off the complete game.
I like the call there, Josh. He's still warm. He's gotten stronger as the game has gone on. I say, why not go let him finish it?
Hasn't given up a run since that 4-run second inning. So, Case, you've been keeping up with the World Baseball Classic exhibition games?
Yeah, and actually, the first real game was last night. I got to catch a little bit of the Australia versus Taiwan, or as we call it, Chinese Taipei. But yeah,
Who won that?
I believe it was Australia. Australia won that. Yeah.
An upset.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they won it. 'Cause I saw Travis Bazzana with a big homer.
Of course, one of the marquee prospects for Cleveland. But all eyes are on Mike Smithson Field tonight as Hickman County looks to get their first win of the season. Bates. The first pitch of the 7th inning is a ball. Misses high. And that ball is smashed to left field. Stone giving chase. And it's out of here. That ball finds Green on the other side of the fence, just shy of the school bus. And just like that, the Fighting Irish are within 1.
Now up, number 6, Burgess.
Well, Case, I believe that is one way to start an inning.
Good news is, still the lead. Still have the lead.
Some call home runs rally killers.
Barry Larkin.
So no men on, no outs. 5-6 game. Bates. First pitch misses high. Burgess digging in, and Case, who else but Forrester going deep for Houston County. And he was close earlier, hitting one deep that Stone was able to run down, and it almost felt like that was coming with how he's been swinging the stick tonight.
Yeah, he's super good. He's been, like you said, been close a couple times, so I wasn't really surprised. Ooh,
That was a
that's
disgusting
like
off-speed
an
pitch from
ethos.
Bates. Haven't seen that one tonight. Now Bates is ahead 1-2.
Look at Bates. He's ready to throw this ball.
That's one way to get momentum back on your side. The 1-2. Missed it low.
He came set before the batter was even thinking about stepping back in the box.
Well, that's the best way to get something like a home run out of your mind. Just go right at the next guy.
I like
2-2.
it.
Bates deals. Again, the off speed just misses high. That is a tough take from Burgess, too.
I really wonder what that pitch is. I mean, it's like...
Count runs full. Bates to deal. Pops him up. Kraft ranging back. Right fielder calls him off, and that's one out for the Dogs. And right there, Case, you could almost read the body language of Kraft saying, "Where are you at? Call me off." And he finally does. And that's fantastic for the confidence of Bates, too. You just give up a moonshot, but now you got one out, still in the lead.
Yeah, I just had to get things under control and feel a lot better about this.
Back at him.
Look at that.
Bates makes the play.
Take it himself.
An easy 1-3 put out Bates to Warren, and the Dogs were going to throw it around, and they are one out away from their first victory of 2026.
All down to Donahue here.
This has not been an easy inning for Bates, having to deal with the top and heart of this Houston County lineup. They're going to make him earn it. First pitch called, strike one.
I think it's great that he's bringing that out in the last inning. No one has seen it. He's just dropping it in there to get ahead in the count.
The 0-1. Hit him. Just nicks his jersey. But that's all it takes to give Houston County a base runner. Now they are 90 feet closer to a tie game. And Coach Duchesne talking with the umpire, maybe debating whether or not that was a hit by pitch or if he leaned into it maybe.
From our vantage point, it didn't really look like he leaned into it. I mean, it was... I think like you said, it just nicked his jersey.
Which it's unfortunate, but I think that is the right call.
Yeah, definitely.
But once again, Bates knows that if he just gets the guy at the plate, he walks off the mound a winner. But now the question is, how aggressive are the Irish going to be on the base pass? Haven't ran much tonight because of the arm of McCaleb. First pitch, just low for a ball. McCaleb turns around asking the blue, really?
Yeah, I kind of had the same question there as Braden.
1-0. Bates delivers. That one over for a strike. Here's the pitch, misses low. Nice block by McCaleb, keeping the runner glued to first. And this is the beauty of baseball, Case. There's no timer, there's no clock. You have to earn every last out, and that's what Bates is going to have to do here. 2-1, delivers. Called, strike two. Bates is one out away from a complete game victory. You can feel the tension. This fan base wants to come unglued for Bates. Pick off at first, good move. I'm not sure if anybody expected a pickoff with 2 strikes and 2 outs in the last inning. Every Hickman County citizen holding their breath, as well as every Houston County supporter. Again, 2 kickoff moves.
I don't love that. I remember I did something similar to that. I remember Coach Chester saying, just pointing at the batter.
2-2, fouled away. So Farrell will stay alive, of course. He was the reliever on the mound that kept the score right where it was at 6-4. Now he has a chance to not only do some good on the mound, but at the plate as well if he finds a gap. we might have ourselves a tie ball game. The 2-2 from Bates. Swung on and missed! Complete game for Carter Bates. And Hickman County's got their first win of 2026.
That'll conclude our game tonight with the Bulldogs.
What a gutsy performance by Carter Bates, giving it all 7 innings, and that's not easy to pull off, Case.
Yeah, and what better for it to end on that big breaking curveball that he seemingly didn't use until the last inning. That was probably the last thing that the batter was expecting in a 2-2 count with 2 outs in this ball game, and he just put it right down the middle, and the batter obviously way off time.
Well, I think we can start to coin the phrase the battling Bulldogs. Technically a come from behind victory after trailing 4-1 in the second inning, but they didn't look back. Now, Forrester did add 1, courtesy of the big fly to left field, but how about the resilience of Carter Bates? And a lot of guys at this level, they would be shaken by a home run, and they would turn around and give up a few more hits or base runners, but not Carter Bates.
And you know, it not only the home run, and not only the big inning where the Irish got on the board for 4, I believe it was, in the second, but the first 3 or 4 innings, he had a guy on third every inning. Like, he battled out of a lot. I mean, he left a lot of guys on base, which you love to see. Yeah, like, you'd love for him to not get on base, but hey, they did, and he left them stranded.
And Carter Bates just showing off the clutch gene that is so important to have in baseball, especially as a pitcher. And there's nobody right now that's happier than Coach Duchesne, knowing he's got a couple of arms that he can rely on to go out there and give them 7 innings if they need to. And there's no bigger win case than your first. And they finally get that monkey off their back. I mean, they have been playing a lot of really good competition, not just through scrimmages, but in the opening of the season as well. They've played Brentwood Academy and Dixon County in scrimmages. Of course, those are 2 historically phenomenal baseball programs. They're also a lot bigger than we are. They have a lot deeper roster. And then starting the season this year, playing Creekwood not once but twice. And I know Creekwood gave us problems when we were in high school, and they'll probably continue to give Hickman County problems just because of the sheer talent that Creekwood has. But for Hickman County to end the week on a W, they may still play one more game because the schedule, I know, was slightly altered. But if this is their last game of the week, then what a way to end it.
Terrific way. And these are the games that I know the fans love to see, the close nail biters, where everyone's standing in anticipation of the last out, and no better way for it to be. My first game of the year is a close one in which Carter Bates goes complete game, finishes the job, including him helping himself and gaining himself the lead with that double in the gap there. It was just an awesome game all around.
Well, I think if we could name a game MVP, it feels like Carter Bates is the no-brainer, but I don't think we should overlook the rest of the contributions of this Hickman County team, because Hickman County was able to chain together 6 runs on the ledger, and that was due to a lot of different guys helping out Case. So who did you see tonight that really shone bright for the Dogs?
I think Aiden Spiegelmeyer was the spark plug that got everything going with that big hit there early in the game. That, to me, that is what felt like really won over the momentum on the offensive side anyways. I give Carter Bates credit for being the stopper who brought back who had the big swing of momentum for the Dogs, but I want to give it to Aiden Spiegelmeyer for being that spark who really started the whole thing.
So Aiden Spiegelmeyer finished the night 2 for 3 with a triple, a single, a walk, and a strikeout. Also a ribby on the ledger, knocking in a run. But there were also, Case, I think the theme of the night offensively for the Dogs was battling. And it seemed like every at-bat that they weren't getting, even if they didn't get a base hit, they were still running the count to 2-2, 3-2, fouling pitches off, making Forrester work. And he was the guy that got the heavy load tonight for Houston County. We saw Farrell come in for the last frame of work. And I want to give props to those Houston County pitchers as well. They were having to hang tough in there as well. Forrester, by and far, Houston County's MVP. He looked pretty solid on the mound, a few strikeouts to his ledger, and there were a few errors committed by his defense that he probably wished wouldn't have happened, or some pitches that he may have left over the plate that he wished he had back. But overall, a pretty good night for Forrester. Of course, the home run, can't take that away from him. So a good night on both sides of the plate. And Houston County, I mean, we saw why they beat these Dogs last year. They're a very talented squad, but you can't judge this year's matchup on last year's because teams change. And something that I was just made aware of, and Houston County's head coach was the coach for the Hickman County Bulldogs in 2024.
Okay.
So a little bit of a rivalry, a little bit of a revenge game. I guess both sides could have a reason to view it as a revenge game, if you will. But I tell you what, this game certainly lived up to the hype. It was back and forth. There was great pitching, great hitting. I don't think we could have asked for a better first broadcast for baseball.
No, I mean, and just had a really good crowd, really good weather, and of course, really good baseball from both sides, which resulted in a Bulldogs W, which is the most important thing of the night.
Absolutely. And whenever you watch a game like this, you feel like that things can turn on a dime, and the only thing that matters is the win. And baseball is a game dominated by stats. I mean, you hear the analytics all the time saying, well, this guy is valuable because he does this well or this, that, or the other. But to those guys playing and to those coaches that are working tirelessly to put lineups together, to orchestrate practices, they only care about notching as many W's in that column as they can. And one final look over, Case, I'll let you sort of give us a last run through of the stat sheet for your Hickman County Bulldogs lineup, and then we'll sign off and bid you all farewell.
Okay, yeah. Andy Kraft, leadoff hitter, 1 for 4 with an RBI. Number 2 hitter, John Michael Lewis, 2 for 3. Added a walk in there. Braden McCaleb, great defensively. Struggled at the plate, though, 0 for 3, but he had a walk in there. Spiegelmeyer, 2 of 3 with RBI, and we all remember the triple from the early in the game, which really sparked the Bulldogs' run. Add in a walk as well. Carter Bates, 1 of 2 with 2 RBIs, and of course the big double, which gained the lead early on. Braden Chester with another clutch RBI single right after the Carter Bates double, which scored his courtesy runner. Ruger Toddy walked twice. Jackson Warner with a really big RBI single at the beginning of the game, and then Wyatt Bates, who we saw made the terrific diving catch in the first inning, added a walk. And that is your recap of your Bulldogs lineup.
So, Case, thank you so much for being with us here tonight. Of course, you're one of my closest friends, and being able to call our favorite sport together is an absolute dream come true. And, also it helps to have somebody that was willing to keep stats like you were doing all game. Also keeping up with Carter Bates pitching as well. There's a lot that goes into that. Carter finished with a few strikeouts on the night. 3, I believe you had jotted down, and only a couple of walks. He did a great job of pitching the contact, and I'm excited to see how this young man continues to grow and develop as he goes about his senior year. It's his most important year, and he's going to want to end his high school career with a bang. But, folks, above all else, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast tonight. I know we can talk about how much fun we had getting to talk about who knows what, getting to watch a little bit of baseball and relay that to you. It's truly been an honor to cover so far, and we look to cover many more games in the future, at least where baseball is concerned, through WNKX. But as always, we encourage you guys to come down here to the ballpark. It's a fantastic atmosphere, and these guys really enjoy the support. And baseball is such a momentum game. It's a mental game. And if these young guys see all the fans that care about him and want to see him succeed, then that's definitely going to transfer over into how they play. And that's all we want at the end of the day, for these guys to play their best and to be the best representations of Hickman County High School that they can be. But until we meet again, once again, your final Hickman County 5, Hickman County 5, or Hickman, goodness gracious, I'm going to restart this conclusion. We're not going to end it like this. Hickman County 6, Houston County 5, the Bulldogs, their first win of the season, and hopefully many more to come. But until then, for Case Martin, I've been Josh Copley saying goodbye and good night.